What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another trailer reaction / breakdown. And today we are talking about this hilarious trailer that came out that I just wanted to talk about because I thought it was interesting. And this movie is called The Pickup, and it's starring Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, and they're like partners who drive like a Brinks truck. And Keke Palmer plays this robber, thief, villain type thing, and Eva Longoria plays Eddie Murphy's wife, and it's kind of like, you know, Eva Longoria and Eddie Murphy are together as a couple in this, and then it looks like Pete and Keke are going to be together in this as like a couple, and this comes out in August 6th to Amazon Prime. But I just thought it was so funny when I saw the poster for this the other day. I was like, man, I'm fascinated to see what that movie's about. And then the trailer came out, and I of course was like, yeah, of course, it's awesome, I loved it. But let's jump into this trailer, shall we, and check out everything that it has to offer and see what we notice. But let's jump right on into it.
Have dinner, 8 p.m. sharp. Don't be late.
I won't be late. Paga la luz.
No, you usually say para la luz, pendejo. I think this place is about to close up.
Well, luckily for you, this date isn't over until your uniform is on my hotel room floor.
Holy shit.
Tell me you can make it hot.
God, please. This is my 25th wedding anniversary. If I miss dinner with my wife tonight, I will be shot.
Don't do anything stupid.
Whatever gets you home to your wife in time for your special day.
Happy anniversary.
Round 5, get out there.
Alright, so you see the relationships there, and he's like, we have our anniversary dinner tonight at 8. Don't be late. And she's like, apaga la luz. And he goes, you normally say, apaga la luz, pendejo. You know, like, which I'm not sure what apaga la luz means. Maybe it means like, I love you, see you later, or something like, but I'm pretty sure pendejo means fuck you, asshole, or something. And then he's like, you know, I think this place is about to close. And she's like, well, luckily for you, this date isn't over until your uniform is on my hotel room floor. And he's like, what? I'm about to hook up with fucking Keke Palmer? Holy shit. Goes into work the next day. He's like high-fiving his boys. I got laid. And then he's trying to, like, you know, be there for his partner, Eddie Murphy. And he's like, it's my 25th anniversary. He goes, all right, we got to get you home for your special day. And he starts like dry humping the steering wheel, and the horn starts going off. Eddie Murphy's just like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And then we see a shot of Andrew Dice Clay, I'm pretty sure, with like a beard and shit, and he's like playing the route guy, and he's like, yo, Route 5, get out there, you know, like, but this had to have been filmed in New York, right, if they got fucking Andrew Dice Clay. But on to the next portion of this trailer.
You were supposed to retire and moving on to a new career. You're pivoting this late? Well, how old do you think I am?
Well, you're black, so you look 40, but you could be up to 90.
Hey, yo, you seeing this? Pull over and you won't get hurt.
We're gonna die.
Calm down. Remember your training.
Put your hands up! I took a 15-hour online course. What training?
He's like, I think I'm moving on, my Chris. Or maybe this is like one of his last jobs. He's gonna get a new job. He's like, you're pivoting this late? He's like, how old do you think I am? And he goes, well, you're black. And black don't crack, so you look 40, but you could be anywhere up to 90. Which, you know, honestly is true. Between black people and Asian people, they're like ageless at a certain point, right? Like, they hit like 30, and then all of a sudden they could be anywhere from 30 to 1,000, and you're like, Jesus Christ. And if they're like an Asian woman, they sound the exact same if they're 8 or 80, and if they're a man, their voice just gets deeper, and they're like 85, and they're like, come from diaphragm, from diaphragm. Very deep, very deep. But the girls are like, hakatu, ha ha, you know. With black people, you know, pretty much just the same all around, but you know, they look good. Look, black people don't crack, you know, keep using that moisturizer. But then they start to get, you know, robbed or something. And he's like, yo, you seeing this? And somebody in front of them has a sign that says, pull over and you won't get hurt. And then they slam on the brakes and, you know, they have to end up ramming the guy from the rear end. He's like, we're going to die. He's like, keep calm. Remember your training. It's like, what training? I took a 15-hour online course. And we see him like, and I don't know, he's like dropping off money to a bank, and this woman walks up behind him like, excuse me, sir, and he's like, put your hands out, you know, like pulls a gun on her. So maybe this is a flashback to him being bad at his job and why he's probably the driver and not the one that gets out of the truck at this point. But on to the next portion of this trailer.
Reggie Miller. Who? Oh, that's not good. Since you're gonna kill us, why don't you just show us who you are? Tell us who sold us out! Yo, you better give me that money! I'm gonna throw up. You swallow that shit. If you throw up, you a bitch.
Oh God! So it looks like Eddie Murphy's gonna spring into action. I like to see my boy here and doing some action movies. You know, like he's great in comedy, but like, you know, Beverly Hills Cops is a hilarious movie, but it's also got some great action and, you know, fights but also a good story in there as well. So they're trying to break into the back door. He kicks it open. Guy goes flying, and then they start throwing like the paint bombs at him that are normally like in the bags. You know, like if you open up one of those bags, you're not supposed to. You get sprayed with paint that can't get washed off. Crazy. But yeah, so these people are like, you know, chasing after him. He causes the truck to flip out. He's like, boom! And he's throwing, so he's got to be like throwing these paintballs. And they're like, Kobe! And he goes, Reggie Miller! Who? You know, like, don't disrespect Reggie Miller like that, you youths. Nobody knows who Reggie Miller is? Come on. Reggie Miller was a deadly three-point shooter. Although Reggie Miller as a person, still fuck him. But Kobe Bryant as a person, that's a legend right there. As a person and a player, Kobe Bryant is a goddamn legend. But we see that one of these people make it onto their truck. Yeah, they're like, so you're gonna kill us, you can at least show us who you are and tell us who sold us out. And it seems like maybe Pete Davidson sold himself out because, you know, the one who he slept with the other day and thought was just a girl that he met who he's getting laid by, Keke Palmer is the one who's robbing him. And he's like, I'm gonna throw up. And he, like, you know, is pissed because he's like, oh my God, that's the girl I just hooked up with. I had feeling for her. I'm gonna throw up. And he's like, you swallow that shit. If you throw up right now, you's a bitch. Then it cuts to coming out August 6th. So right around the corner, you know, yeah, well, a couple months, but August 6th will be here before we know it. But on to the next portion of this trailer.
What is this? And who is they?
Change of plans. You two are gonna help me steal $60 million from the casino. Because if you don't, your wife's dead.
If you let us go, I'll let you bang my twin sister. Feels like me with long hair.
You trying to get us shot?
What is this and who is they? And we see that Keke Palmer is working with Marshawn Lynch here. And I like to see that he's been getting some work and, you know, like, but he hasn't had to be somebody that's not like himself, you know, like, I like to see Marshawn Lynch working and act. And he's funny enough, but also like beefy enough that he can do action roles like this. Like, why not? But she is now going to act with them to help her steal $60 million from a casino. So that's the stakes here. $60 million or your wife is dead. So they're going to hold Eva Longoria hostage from Eddie Murphy. So he's got to save his wife, steal this $60 million, rob the casino to save your wife. I don't know. That's probably going to be the whole story. But Pete Davidson's not helping. And he's like, looks at Marshawn Lynch. He's like, yo, I'll let you bang, if you let us go, I'll let you bang my twin sister. She looks like me with long hair. And he's like, you trying to get us shot? But on to the next portion of the trailer.
Russell, you don't answer your phone? Did you forget you married a Latina? I put a tracking chip in your neck. Hi, Natalie.
You fell in love this weekend?
Of course. We did butt stuff.
So the stakes are high, and Eva Longoria comes running over. Russell, you don't answer your phone? Did you forget you married a Latina? I put a tracking chip in your neck. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, but also like, God, you mess with one of them Latinas, they're going to be tracking you one way or another, whether it's a chip in your neck or the chip in your phone, they're going to be finding your ass. But the stakes are high, but the plan is foolproof. Too bad they got some big fools here. But then also it seems like there might be an actual love story here between Keke Palmer and Pete Davidson, because she's like, did you fall in love this weekend? And he's like, of course I did. We did butt stuff. And the look on freaking Eddie Murphy's face, he's like, we did butt stuff. And Eddie's like, like, but on to the final portion of this trailer.
That's wow.
That was awesome, dude.
I look at my leg and my foot and my ankle, my meniscus. I know I tore my whole back out too.
What, just from that?
Are those the same underwear from Friday?
Should have been a red flag.
Oh god, this looks so good, but it looks like there's some real car chases, some real explosions, some real like stunts, Pete hanging on a roof of a car, you know, like some real action, you know, Keke throwing some kicks, some punches, some real police cars smashing into each other and flipping over, like wild stuff, man. But also a pretty good cast, some real, looks like stunts from the stunt guys, you know, like a paint bomb exploding on his chest as he falls back into the hood of a car. Like giant explosion, which might be like a helicopter or something, or like a car flipping over and exploding on the ground. He's like, dude, that was awesome. He's like, I messed up my leg, my foot, my ankle, my meniscus. I tore my whole back out too. He's like, just that little thing you did right there? Are you serious? But Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, Eva Longoria, Andrew Dice Clay, Marshawn Lynch, and Keke frickin' Palmer, the pickup. And I love at the end, she's like, you wearing those same underwear from Friday, you dirty ass motherfucker? She's like, I should have been a red flag. But this was written by Kevin Burrows and Matt Mitter and directed by Tim Story, which I do like director Tim Story. I feel like I've seen other things he's done as well. But a new original coming to Amazon Prime August 6th, and another rated R film. But I think that one looks cool. It's like a armed truck robbery that turns into a casino heist, and they're like also, you know, not the robbers. They're like being forced into it so he can save his wife from the other criminals. The other criminals are Keke Palmer and Marshawn Lynch. Andrew Dice Clay is going to be in there as some comedic relief at some point. But Pete Davidson and Eddie Murphy will be funny bouncing off of each other. I mean, Eddie's funny alone, but, you know, just having some like older energy and this new youthful energy, you know, maybe bring two generations together there. And, you know, Keke Palmer is also kind of like her own generation of people. You know, so it feels like you got the old heads, the young heads, the people right in the middle, you know, like a movie for everybody, I feel like here. And a nice comedy, but also an action film, you know. And I'm sure it will be low budget and just another one of these Amazon Prime bullshit movies. But it looks pretty good, you know. I mean, for an Amazon Prime movie, it looks pretty good, and I'm probably going to be watching it and checking it out when it comes in August. But comment below your thoughts. What do you think of the pickup in this cast, in this trailer? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, or if you want to message me on my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. Once again, my name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much for coming on by. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way of doing that is liking this video, commenting down below, subscribing if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that bell so you get the notifications and you don't miss when future videos come out. And once again, my name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much for coming on by, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace!